Hello and welcome back to another Reddit League matchcast. We're still in week 2 in Bhutan, and after 2 exciting matches in Division 1, we're now moving into Division 4A with two people who, I don't know if they've played each other much actually, but who have been here in Division 4 for quite a while in Heddicmi and Zotomo. And today I am joined in this cast by Diesel. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well.
Very nice. And yeah, let's take a quick look. Their week 1 was quite different, I would say, for the two of them. Sotomo had a horrid time in that specific map of Finland, with not even getting 10k on the boards. And Heddicmi, on the other hand, 20,896 points was the top score of the division. So, first against last for this, who, was a relatively comfortable win against Sepp Kirst as well. Let's take a quick look at Bhutan here. We've talked about it a bit in the show already, but what's your general impression about Bhutan, and maybe even going so far as to, say, who do you favor based on this specific map?
Well, difficult to say who I would favor on this map. I think both of them are very high variance players in a way, right?
Mm,
Sometimes they have very good games, but they lack some consistency, I would say.
mm,
Um, on Bhutan, I think, you may get a seed which is very heavy on the landscape guessing, right? And
yeah.
then, it depends on how much you have actually practiced the landscape guessing and how much you can recognize the different parts of the country. But you may also get a very easy round, and then it comes down to pinpointing. Um, so yeah, also a map that can favor one or the other, I would say, depending on the exact seat that you get.
Yeah, exactly. I also think in general, Bhutan might be a map that might favor players who move a bit quicker and are able to get to more information quicker, especially in those roll rounds on like roads that have those marker stones, but you might need to travel some
Right.
distance to get to one. Um,
Yeah.
in that regards, I think they both move equally slowly from what I've seen of them. So I don't think either of them is favored in that particular sense. So might just come down to who gets a bit more lucky, perhaps, on the direction that they travel, or who has
Yeah.
put in a little more time to practice, as always. Okay, and now let's get into the actual match itself, and we'll start with round 1 now. And we do start with a little bit more of an urban round, which probably favors both of them. They might be happy about that. And there is a dead end straight away with lots of signs, but unfortunately none that they can probably read very well, all a bit far away.
Yeah, and Zotomo has turned around here, leaving that complex, I would say, and reaching the main road where hopefully there are gonna be
Yeah,
some
they're
more readable signs, right?
Yadi Mongar, I think. Mongar, a big town for Bhutan, in the sort of eastern part of the country, is right there on Heddicmi's screen. He just needs to find it, and there is Yadi for him. And Zotomo has found, I think, the exact same sign here in this case. So they're pretty much, well, Heddicmi is down to the pinpointing stage. Zotomo would need to find it on the map.
Zotomo is taking his sweet time reading the sign, apparently.
Yeah,
But then, luckily, the town is easy to find, and he's got it too now.
yeah. Might be tempted to call the number on there, but we'll decide to just look for it on the map. And the town is, thankfully for them, pretty small, so it shouldn't be a big issue to pinpoint. It's not the easiest pinpoint because, Bhutan, small curves, not exactly the most enjoyable thing to pinpoint, but even if they do miss by like 50 or 100 meters, I don't expect it to come down to that.
Very true. And they started out in that school complex. I think both of them have figured that out by now, right?
Yeah, I think
And are looking for the
Sutomo.
exact.
Yeah, Sutomo has
Well,
for
Zotomo
sure.
has it. Yeah.
Yeah, Headingme
Okay.
is still looking around a bit. I think he's now. figured out that that is indeed the curve that he is on right now. It is a bit odd of a round because I as well for maybe like 10 15 seconds was a bit confused by the coloring of the map as well, where it doesn't really look like you're going from a very like a white road to like a yellow road there. It kind of just looks like the town might be slightly bigger as well. So it is a
Yeah.
bit odd, but they will both get the round correctly. They are in the right spot right now, I'm pretty sure.
No, you're right that that's one of the problems of Bhutan pinpointing, I think. Uh,
And
that the coloring of the road doesn't really tell you how big it is often.
yeah, definitely. And Heddicmi does guess and get his 5K, his first of the week. And now it's, oh, Zotomo moves away from the correct spot, a bit further to the south. Much further to the south. Interesting.
Yeah, so you're gonna, well, but oh, all right. So he did not pinpoint.
Hmm. A bit of a weird one. Because especially for the last part where he went into the school, which, you know, it takes a little bit of understanding how Street View works as well, but normal Google Street View cannot move off the road by that much. So the fact that he was able to move off the road into the school means that there has to be a road on Google Maps as well. Otherwise, you
Right,
couldn't go that way. Um,
exactly.
so yeah, unfortunately, there for him, slight correction at the end, costing him 17 points. But yeah, I don't think we've seen any 25Ks in Bhutan at all, to be honest. At least for no one on their own seed. So I'd be surprised if those 17 points mattered in that regard. But you could still, around the 24,000 mark, be off by 17 points to your opponent. So yeah, we'll see.
And and number of 5Ks is also a point of pride, even if it doesn't
Yes,
really matter in the ranking.
absolutely.
Right.
Especially for those who have a higher number of them.
Oh
maybe
yeah, yeah, yeah,
maybe
exactly,
less so
exactly.
for the others.
I say that as somebody who has got like 4 5Ks and one choke in all 3 rounds so far. So
Yeah. All right. Then
Okay.
let's move on to round number 2 after this first one that didn't seem to prove too much of a problem for either of them. Now, and that is indeed a bit more rural. No houses on site, but what it is also is a pretty distinctive landscape.
Yeah,
This road specifically is something, if you've practiced a lot of Bhutan, then you've surely come across a location on this road a couple of times.
yeah.
And yeah,
You can see the second road across the valley,
mm-hmm,
which you don't have that often, right? Moving
yeah,
towards the northeast here with that second main road on the other side of the valley, which is quite rare.
mm, moving towards the Jusom Bridge up in the north.
Ex- Exactly.
And there is a sign there, or well, a marker stone there for Zotomo, which says Chonka, which might be on the map or might not be. I don't recognize it off name. But Chuzom, the other side of that marker stone for Heddicmi,
That's exactly.
and he does seem to sort of know the right area for it, but not exactly where it is.
Yeah, and Zotomo is also searching the right area. Well, now he's moving away from it, but he
Mm,
did search it originally.
yeah, I think he's basically got no clue where he is, but he's just looking for that town anywhere on the map, basically, which, as we now know, is not a good idea because it just won't show up. But if you've not practiced Bhutan much, you maybe wouldn't know which towns would show up and which don't.
Yeah. I I actually found the compass extremely useful in Bhutan just to know the general direction of the valley that you're
Mm,
in, you know.
yep.
You can exclude a lot of places simply by that. So
Yeah.
this sort of northeast southwest direction of the river is very useful here.
Yeah, also something for Bhutan to that can be very useful is because it's usually relatively difficult if you're on one of those mountain roads to tell which direction the road is going, is to just kind of keep it in your mind, just, throughout multiple curves. Just keep it in your mind the whole time. Like,
Oh
which
yeah.
direction am I going? Just so you
Yep.
can sort of paint a picture of the road in your head, and that generally, okay, it's going kind of more northeast, kind of more northwest. And that can also help to just exclude a couple of roads.
Yep. No, very true.
Does seem like they're both going north. I think Heddicmi is about to reach the bridge.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
getting there. And
Neither of
Zotomo is a
them.
bit behind.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's like
Oh,
a large green sign as well, right?
I
Timpu
yeah.
Chuzam
That
indicated
that
on.
is a very good marker stone that Heddicmi has there. I didn't quite see the green sign, but it was surely there if you if you said it. But yeah, that's very useful. Not particularly helpful for pinpointing itself, but at least now he knows roughly where he should be.
Yeah. And honestly, the
Ah,
bridge should be
yeah, for
pinpointable.
sure.
Yeah.
It says welcome to Paro Jongkak as well on that. So, you know, as always, I hate it as well when it's like, hey, welcome to this province, and it's like a kilometer away from the border. But that is oftentimes where they put the signs, because it's oftentimes, not the most reasonable place to put a sign at the exact border.
Yeah.
And also sometimes the borders on Google Maps are just wrong by a bit. But it seems I think Heddicmi
Well,
moved a bit
they're
further
running out of
away.
time.
Yep. And Zotomo will be closer by over 1,000 points. And Heddicmi is
Yes.
not happy about it.
It's that Paro sign for him, isn't it?
Yeah. He probably doesn't know what Jongkak means, in this case, meaning the district of Paro and not the city of Paro, which might have been
Yep.
what confused him there, because I think before seeing that sign, he was a bit closer to the right location.
I think so too, yeah.
All right, so that turns it all around. As we said before, 17 points lost for Sotomo, maybe not such a big deal, and definitely not such a big deal with this round. He's now well over 1,000 points in the lead, but still, 1,000 points in Bhutan, it's a nice cushion. Probably don't have to worry super much about pinpointing at that stage, but you can easily lose it with one unfortunate round in the middle of nowhere.
If you miss a round, you miss 1,000 points easily, I think.
Yeah, you'll have to know pretty much where you are. Then you can, lose like 10, 20 points by pinpointing. But yeah, if you don't know where you are, you're probably losing a lot of points. So let's see if either of them does lose a lot of points in round 3 now. And another incredibly recognizable area on the outsides of Gelefu.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
They both probably know this too and are moving towards the south now, right?
yeah, the north was a dead end straight away, pretty much. So it's not like they have much of
Mm.
a choice, but they are both going south. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, there is already Galefu on a sign there for both of them. So even if they hadn't known, they do now.
Yeah. I actually find the town of Galefu difficult to pinpoint.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
it's not very, yeah, it's not very clear sometimes where you are. Also because of that matter that some streets are indicated as large streets, even though they're just small
Mm,
walking paths. Um,
I don't know what Zotoma's doing in Wangwe Profang, but
oh yeah, right.
I think that is kind of like a sign that he did not practice one bit. He does not know any towns in Bhutan. Because I
Yep,
think,
I
yeah,
agree.
Glefu is probably, I mean, it's obviously not the biggest, but it might be like number 4, number 5, probably behind Thimphu, Fuencholing, Trashigang,
And
maybe
I think
Wangdue,
Guangdong is
Probang.
actually
Yeah.
is actually a big town, but
Yeah, that too.
they just look so different because
Yeah.
there's mountains all around them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Glefu pretty much one of the only areas without any big mountains in the immediate vicinity. I mean, on the horizon, you can see a couple, but, it's pretty much a
Yeah.
flat city. As you said earlier with pinpointing in Gelefu, I think what helps a lot if you know exactly which roads are covered, because there's actually not that many roads that lead through the town that are covered. But if you just look
Oh,
at like the town on Google Maps without the indication of which roads are covered, then yeah, it is, as you can see there on Zotomo's screen, there's a lot of them. So without that
yeah.
knowledge, it is very difficult to pinpoint because you don't have road names. The POIs are like, sometimes they might be there, most of the time they're not. So really the only thing
Yeah.
you're working with there is road direction and intersections basically.
Uh, Well, Zotomo has found it now, right?
Nice.
So he's not gonna lose many points on this round.
Mm. Don't know what. Okay, he's probably looking for a POI that mentions something
Uh,
of what he's seeing there on that sign, but won't be so lucky as to find that. Probably because it doesn't exist. Is my
while
always my
Heddicmi,
assumption.
yeah, true. While Heddicmi has found the main road now, right?
Yes, I don't know if he's checked and if he's 100% sure it is the main road. But he does seem pretty sure of it. So he'll just have to remember where he's come from.
Got the right direction and all that, yeah.
Mm. I got there's a POI called Someplace Else, which was a restaurant POI. That's always great fun. The POIs in Bhutan. I know Jake and I have been playing a bit just to practice, and there's so many that just have such funny names, like a nice viewpoint or something, and then right next to it there's a very nice viewpoint.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, probably put in by the owners of
It could be.
like a small kiosk or something like that. Okay, so wait, Idigme
And
seems to have found something,
yeah,
but oh,
both similarly far away in opposite directions, heading me slightly closer. Couldn't quite remember exactly which way he traveled to get to the main road, which is a
exactly.
bit unfortunate. Means he will, catch up a few points, but he might have been able to make use of those 150 more points that he could have gained through pinpointing it exactly. I think the general, road where he put it was like right direction wise. It did have a dead end to the north, so those aspects fit, but it was just in the wrong part of town, unfortunately for him.
Yep, exactly. I think yes, yes. Idigme, I think he did remember that he came from the east,
Yep.
southeast towards the main road, right? But
Yeah, he remembered that he came
then
from the east, southeast, but didn't remember that
no.
he had like um, turned onto that southeast, northwest road, like one intersection before he came to the main
Yeah,
road. So a bit
could have been there.
unfortunate there.
Yep.
All right, then let's get into round four. Still 2 rounds to go. Still plenty to play for now. And unfortunately, it does look like this might not be the big decider round, as they both immediately find a sign that tells them they're in Fuencholing. So unless Satomo can't find the next biggest city in Bhutan this time around, which he should be able to do in 4 minutes, this is probably going to be another round that won't see the scores shift too much.
Okay, so Idigme here is looking at Funcholing, which is near the Chuzon Bridge that we had in the first round.
He might have seen that earlier and been like, "Oh, I recognize that."
Yeah,
Should if he spends another 2 seconds thinking about it, it should be pretty clear. It's probably more likely to be this one. There we go. They're both in
exactly.
the town.
Ah, there we are.
And this one is actually, for Bhutan, relatively easy to pinpoint, as you've got a pretty unique intersection at the start. So as long as you can sort of get the right area of town, you shouldn't have too many problems there.
Yeah, right. Just north of the river here, right?
Yep.
Or something like that.
It's
Yeah.
I think it's close to where I think it's right there on Heddicmi's screen in the sort of middle north there. Just moved past
Yeah.
it.
Also a town where you just kind of have to walk around a little bit,
Yeah,
remember the graph of the map that you took, basically, right? And
yeah.
then try to find that.
Just get a good feel
Um,
for it. Usually, like it can be enough to just go a little bit until you have a good grasp on whereabouts in the city you are. Because in like an
yeah,
intersection at the start, like at the start that they had there, is relatively easily findable on the map. So if you just know, okay, I'm north of the river, then that's probably enough to find the right intersection. And probably, a better use of your time to try looking for it rather than, continuing to try to find out, anything.
your eyes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes, I think Heddicmi has decided on the correct area now.
So Tomo's also very close,
Uh,
probably 200 meters away from it at this stage, a little bit more northeast. Actually, closer
uh,
than Heddicmi. Not by much, but by a little bit. I think there's
yeah,
also
both.
there was some signs for the Fuenchaling General Hospital. I don't know if they saw them, but I remember from playing that round there were a couple of those.
Ooh, Zotomo moving away from the truth.
Mm.
What
Oh,
are you doing?
away from the light.
Are
I think is
those
that
red signs the one for the hospital? I guess.
maybe. I
I'm
think
not
Heddicmi is just heading over the river. Welcome to the
sure.
Himalaya Kingdom of Bhutan. All right.
It's a place I would like to visit one day. It's absolutely beautiful,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I think it's very nice for sustainable tourism and that kind of thing. If you
Mm. It's also gonna take forever to get there, though, right? I mean, I'm assuming there are
um,
flights to Thimphu, but probably not like non-stop flights. So you're surely gonna
from
be like,
Delhi or something, yeah.
yeah, like 15 hours of journey or something like that at least to get there. I imagine from Central Europe.
Zotomo found the General Hospital sign, so I think
Mm.
now, yeah, exactly. Come on, just a little bit further west.
uh it is, yeah, yeah, okay, almost.
Yes.
Almost. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Just stay there.
Ah, exactly.
Ah, nice.
That's so good.
Nice
Oh,
5K.
okay. Yeah.
I think his,
A couple of points left for Edigme. Yeah.
yeah, not a big deal there. There's 38 points that he loses, but I think that was the first 5K, the first ace for Sotomo this season. So that's definitely a
Oh,
nice thing for him to come in Bhutan as well. It's probably the place you'd least expect it, but definitely a nice round for him. And it only leaves him with one more round that he just has to survive somehow to get his first win of the season.
right. Very last second, right, with the hospital
Yep.
that he found in the last couple of
I think
moments. But yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think his last click for the 5K was like 2 or 3 seconds before the end. So, with 10 less seconds, probably wouldn't have 5K'd, but he did it.
Very nice.
So,
Very nice.
let's start our last round for this game now. And that
Ooh.
certainly leaves room to make an error.
Oh, I remember that one.
Mm, I do
Yes.
too. I didn't make it far enough to any signs. I remember
I
that.
got a 5K on this one. I think I'm the only one who got a 5K on this one.
It
When
could
I
be.
played.
Yeah, it from what I remember, it's just about if you just keep moving generally towards the south, towards the city, you've got about if you move swiftly, you've got about a minute at the end to try and find signs in the town, try and pinpoint yourself. But if you, as Heddicme
And
did, move the wrong direction at the start for a bit, and then maybe look at some signs on the way like this one, mm, you might be in
none of
for
that.
yeah, might be in for a rough
None
time
of
here.
them. None of the signs actually say Trongsa, right, in that direction.
Yeah, I
Which
don't
is
I don't think they do.
um,
At least not that I can remember any, but we'll see. I don't actually remember if it just keeps going into the middle of nowhere or if you do encounter a dead end sometime soon.
when you go north. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know either.
I mean if Heddicme keeps going that way, we'll find out, I guess.
Uh, so the recognizable thing is the castle or the fortified monastery. You can actually see it within a few clicks from the origin. That's like Trongsa Castle.
Mm.
It's a huge monastery that I had seen before during practice, and that told me that it must be near Trongsa.
Yeah, definitely something nice to know. Especially in countries like Bhutan, I think it's always very
There you go,
useful.
on Zotomo's screen, you're seeing it now, the castle.
Mm.
But yeah, exactly. Another thing that you could visit if you would visit the Mountain Kingdom of Bhutan.
Mm. I mean, Bhutan is not that big in size, so probably if you're there already, might make sense to just, see all of it basically.
Yeah, right.
So Thomas made it to the city, which is a bit odd to maneuver through with Bhutan Street View coverage, just getting teleported around left, right, and center.
Is he gonna find a sign here?
He's got more than a minute. I think he should do, unless
Yeah.
he, clumsily goes past all of them.
Ah, that's that construction engine says Wangdue. That's why he
Uh,
clicks there now. Okay.
I don't think construction vehicles are like ever accurate.
Well, maybe they don't travel fast, so maybe they don't travel far either.
True, but I
But
think especially for those construction vehicles, they're usually from like where the company might have its headquarters or something like that.
yeah,
And there's usually like
fair
not
enough.
too many construction companies. But that, on the other
Here we
hand, is a
are.
lot more helpful. Does he know where Trongsa is? Yes, okay, it's right on his screen.
He's got it.
Now it just depends on, does he think Cherubling Trongsa is like somewhere else entirely in the right district, maybe. He's checking for
Mm.
it. But either way, I think,
Heddicmi on the
yeah.
other side.
Yeah, just,
Heddicmi on the other side is also getting there about now, but too late.
yeah. A
Oh,
very,
but
very
actually
good
his
guess,
guess is
though,
good.
considering
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
impressive from
oh, look
Heddicmi.
at look at his face. He's not so unhappy with his guess, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Which,
has
fair
every
enough.
right to be happy about that one,
Yeah,
considering
yeah.
he really had nothing to go off of other than landscape and maybe a city on the horizon, but no actual signs for it. But sometimes it's a bit down to luck, and Satomo did what he had to do to keep ahead until this round, and then
Yep.
just a little bit more lucky in it, and ends the game on 24,421 points with
Pretty good
Heddicmi.
game.
Yeah,
Uh,
very good game. Heddicmi 22,463. Just a little bit unfortunate in that last round, but yeah, his downfall essentially here in round 2, where he lost over 1,000 points to Satomo.
and interesting to note that it was really just because he found that sign that said
Yeah,
"Welcome to Paro," right?
yeah.
Because he was in the area before. Oh,
Very unfortunate. I mean, the one positive thing, I suppose, in that is that, you know, even if he had 5K round 2, it would have still just about not been enough. So, just put it down to being a bit unfortunate in that last round, and, better luck next time, I guess. As we'll take a quick look at, if I do it right, yep, at the stats that they now have. With that win now, Satomo on 1 win, 1 loss, exact same as Heddicmi, of course. Sort of puts them both mid-table. This also shows Satomo's 1 ace that he's got now, compared to Heddicmi's 4, out of which he did get 1 ace in round 1 here. The other 3 were from Finland.
yeah.
And yeah, any last words on this match?
No, it was interesting to see how everybody played and how some things came down to luck. Um, but yeah,
Mm,
the way
always
it
a
is.
little bit of a factor. Um,
Yeah,
it's just the way Geoguessr works.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this match cast, and we'll see you guys again next time. Bye.
Bye.